Alright, so today we are going to Haybrook. I am super excited. It takes about 2.5 hours to get there. This is my second hike of the year, so I can take a break for February and just focus on school, hopefully. I might still go on a hike, but my goal is to do 12 in a year. The weather is really nice right now. I think it's going to be like lower 50s when I get there. There's some icy melting right now, so it should be good timing. I think the view, hopefully, is going to be clear, but we'll see, because Washington weather, depending how far you go, will change drastically, and hopefully the roads are open. I did check, it looks open, and I saw some people a week ago that went, but who knows? Also, I brought thinner layers because last time I was huffing and heaving. I was super hot. Got gas, we're at a full tank. It's about 80 or 90 miles away. I'm listening to my audiobook for Letters to a Young Therapist. So far, the first chapter is actually really good. Pleasantly surprised by that. You never know. Everyone has a different style and different upbringing and education, so you know, it can be a hit or miss sometimes, but so far so good. I'm trying to see and scout more fields that I can apply my degree to, because I am studying in...
Turn left.
Navigation's on, sorry. I'm studying in psychology right now, and I'm not sure if I want to be in BCBA, which is my supervisor's position. I really like the department, but I just don't know if I want to be that specific stakeholder in that department team. I just got here. It is a little bit of a drive. 15 now, so do that math. Alright, well, it's Lincoln, so I hope that means good things. Oh, good. Thank you, though. That was very kind of you. Wow, look at this, guys. How's it going? Hee hee. That's fucking cool. You with the drone? Dude, that was cute. Okay, my GoPro died, or didn't die. It was full storage. I had plenty of batteries to bring with me today. What is the worst pickup line you've ever heard? Like, I know I've heard really bad ones before. I can tell you a really good one. My friend actually sent me this recently. That was a pretty good lift. Want to go back to your place and do some cardio? That would 100% work on me, especially if it's like Mario Kart, or if somebody told me like they want to listen to some jams and they busted out fucking Guitar Hero and like a drum set, the drum version, I would like, that would
It's flustered, man.
I'm flustered.
First of all, the competitiveness in me for Mario Kart and gameplay, amazing. But also, just, like, if they go all out in that behavior and they're just rocking out, bruh, who can't do that? That's the best. The best. Those are the best kind of jokes and, like, harmless things. Yeah, I would just... That would work for me. Okay, the worst one I can think of at the moment is one of my homecoming asks. There is a guy that I've been talking to. I was single at the time and not planning on going to my senior homecoming, I think it was. I was still like recovering and just kind of like blah about that kind of shit, and dressing up at the time was not really my thing. But anyway, I thought I was developing a connection. I soon found out that his friend was the person answering the entire time, which is annoying but understandable for a young mind. There was something about pizza. It was like, do you wanna, I don't even remember, do you wanna, I know this is cheesy, but I want to ask you to homecoming, I think. And he brought like a pizza, and the friend was there too, so I was just like, oh, this is like so weird. I was like, yeah, I knew it was gonna happen at some point, and all my friends were acting weird. And at the time, like, we were hanging out with my friend group at my house at night, which was unusual in and of itself, because usually I didn't do that. And then, like, just the texting was weird. I just felt, like, awkwardly set up in a way where it was just, it felt grimy. So that was the worst pickup line I've ever had. Who was your first kiss? How was it? How old were you? This is debatable. I think I talked about this in my first Q&A too. But I was convinced that it was on the school bus with a boy named Deb. Everyone else in that grade, and one of my childhood best friends, is convinced that it was by a dumpster in the outside playground during recess. And she said it was like a big show, and like people were peer pressuring us and like trying to get us on. I don't remember that at all. But I don't know, it's feasible. I just don't know if it was my first kiss. I also remember my first kiss being a makeout, and then I pecked somebody later on. So yeah, that's it. Yep, same person for both stories, but I don't know. Okay, what is the story behind how your parents met? My parents met when my mom was 14 and my dad was 17, I think, and they were set up by their mutual friend groups. They went to the BNI, and my mom was trying to act like hot shit, smoking a cigarette. She did not smoke cigarettes. She was holding it in her hands, and my dad called her out and said that, like, gross people do that, or, like, asked her if she really smoked, and she tried to play it off like she did, and he was like, yeah, I don't like that shit, and she said, like, neither do I, and threw it away, or something, I don't know, something along those lines. It was not at an arcade, so no wonder I have that arcade spirit in me. But yeah, we go there all the time as like a little commemoration of how they met, and how us children would never exist if they had not done that. And yeah, so the BNI is like a happy family place for me, and anytime I need like specific clothes or random shit, I go there, and it's, yeah, like a little reunion spot. Happy memories. Terrible things went in history. Terrible things have happened in history there. The gorilla, okay, pictures of some really racist shit, but that is how my parents met in that time era, soon after that, all that. So yeah, we're just trying to focus on the positive here. Did you ever sneak out of your house when you were a kid? I snuck out of my house one time. My parents were there, they were asleep, and with another friend. We just went to the front yard, like right in front of the window, to look at the stars, so take that for what you will. But even that was like a big no-no. I didn't actually sneak out and like go somewhere. I, like, during school snuck out to like nearby food places and Taco Bell when I was in senior year, but nothing crazy. I usually always returned. Even senior skip day, I felt like really icky about all of that shit. My parents raised me very strict, and I wasn't allowed to do any of that. I guess my senior year, was it homecoming? Oh, I think the previous homecoming story, I think, was junior year. But my senior year, I went unexpectedly with somebody. Whole story behind that. There was a guy I was into, and he was super cool, but I was taking things listening to my navigation. Okay. There was a guy I was into, and he asked me if I was going to homecoming. I was like, no, I just feel exhausted, like, doing all these things. And then somebody else asked me last minute to fill the space, and money was involved and everything. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just rewear a dress and, like, do this favor. So I felt bad about that, but it was truly an innocent thing. It wasn't malicious. I had very good intentions, and then one thing led to another, and I wanted to go to this party, but my mom said no, and she gave me like a curfew and so we left homecoming early, did our thing, and then I ended up still going to that party just for seconds. Everyone had changed already, and I was still in my dress, and I was like, oof, awkward feeling when you're like super overdressed and everybody else is like in their party mode, especially in high school, because I feel like the party scene was very different back then. But yeah, anyway, both guys were there, and I was like, whoa, awkward, and I was trying to like avoid everything, and then I still gave that guy a hug, and I was like, fuck, like, I want to stay so bad because this will be so fun to hang out, but I was taken home, and I just slept. Everyone else had a great time and had crazy stories, but yeah, so that's my only kind of stories of sneaking out. My parents raised me to where I super feared disobeying them. My junior year, I tried to call myself out of school, and I star 67'd it, because my mom and I sound kind of similar on the phone back then, but the attendance lady recognized my mom's number enough, because she used to call a lot, because me, for one, I did sports, was super involved in school. For two, my brother got in trouble constantly, and she was always calling, so they had a really well-known relationship. I was feeling stressed for multiple reasons. One, because my menstrual cycle got extremely painful to the point of passing out. Not necessarily that day, but that's just that time frame I was in, and I had a boyfriend at the time. His house is really close, and I was like, okay, I don't feel good. I just want to chill. I just want to break from things. School, I was already caught up with work. Like, I wasn't going to miss anything important. I was just not going to be there. I should have just left, to be honest with you, but I tried to not flag the attendance, because if my attendance got flagged, my mom would have been up my ass. So yeah, it didn't work out, and I got in trouble. My phone was taken away, and I almost couldn't go to an event I had for school because they thought I was lying about it. Yeah, it was a whole debacle. I think I was grounded for like 2 months or something crazy. I mean, rightfully so. I would do the same stuff if it was my kid, but yeah, it was very sticky. My parents did not really trust me after that. What was the last time you laughed so hard you cried? So hard. Probably with Angie when we did our bingo cards. Probably with Angie when we did our bingo cards for the New Year's resolution this year, and also with Floor and Angie at their house when we were playing Mario Kart and like talking about life. That was extremely fun. Like, those girls, I feel like I could accidentally stay up way past my bedtime, not really think about it too much, and just like keep talking about life. Like, those scenarios are just so fulfilling, and I cherish those moments. I think back on that day a lot right now. I'm just like, yeah, I learned a lot about these ladies, and mucho amor, mucho love. On a first date, who should pay, or should the bill be split? This is a serious question. Like a cop car. Okay, in today's economy, in my personality, I have no problem paying for my shit. I won't go on a date unless I can pay for it. Whoever's asking to go out on the date should be prepared to pay for that date in full. Or if they're not, cool, but predispose that. But ideally, yeah, the person taking me out should be paying for the date. As dates continue, that's where things change and conversations happen and blah blah blah. But also, I don't want to go on expensive dates either. Like, I want to save. I have goals that cost money too, and I don't want to go on pointless dates. Let's invest in life together, or let's like do an activity that's actually worthwhile, something, none of this like fancy ass dinner shit. I've had fancy dinners, cool. I've had also burger shop places that are hella good that both of us spend $10 and that's it. Like, I think date in that culture is just really going over the top. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. No problem being split, but also, if money is like an argument on the first date, like how fucking shallow is that? Like, in a world full of everything going on, and you're gonna argue with me about money? Or like, if you like throw a nasty comment about how you're paying or I'm paying, like how you hold yourself in those situations is what I'm paying attention to. And it's not a judgmental thing. It's like how you hold yourself as a person to interact with the world, like how you make other people feel. Like if that waiter comes up and asks, how are we paying the check today? And like you make a big deal about it, waste their time, but also argue with me about like paying, like that's just, you know, fuck it. I have no problem paying, but I will not continue that date, because if you can't calmly communicate in that moment for something so minuscule and so small, and you have your ass turned up around about that, like that tells me everything I need to know. Okay, what was your best concert experience? My first concert experience was super random. It was to Paper Kites, and it was fun, but like it was really random. My friend asked me to go. We like were barefoot in Seattle, which is disgusting. It's disgusting. This was back in 2019. Was it 2019 or 2018? It was 2019. We had just freshly graduated. The only white thing we had that they could sign was our shoes, and so we signed them, and for some reason we took our shoes off and kept them off. I don't know. We were running through Seattle. But that was one story. What's another story? The best one. I think the best one was an accidental concert that I went to during We Day. I love conventions where it's like very motivational and you have like activities to do. They give you books, like you can do research and really network. I love doing things like that, and I went to one in high school. That day I got in trouble because I tried to leave school, but besides the point, they still let me go to this trip. And Noah Cyrus, and it was fun. Like everyone had their phones out for starlights, and I feel like back then I hadn't had too many experiences with that type of environment where everyone is doing like the same thing and just feeling in the moment. I hadn't listened to any of her songs besides like any ones that she did with her sister, Miley Cyrus, but yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I like that experience. I can't think of any other concerts I've been to besides like Base Canyon. But I got injured there, so I have like tainted memories. There's gonna be a whole video about that, by the way. There's tons. Ooh, the Weedle going fast. How do you feel about public speaking? I really like public speaking and motivational speakers. A couple of my friends are motivational speakers, and a lot of my friends are creators. I wish I could tag everybody, but that's gonna take me ages. But definitely, if you see my if you see who I'm following, like a lot of them are motivational speakers or have some type of content that is inspirational, so give them a good follow. For me, I feel like I'm always working up to speaking more eloquently and in full thoughts because my mind wanders, but yeah, I have no problem with it. Is it in my future? Possibly, but I don't want to just do that on a whim. Like I want to make sure I'm putting all my effort into that. That's the only project I'm working on. But yeah, motivational speakers are cool. I also think a lot of motivational speaking conventions are scams, and you should just call it a networking event. Like you're not giving any value to these people when you're just talking about like very surface level stuff. Like if I go to a motivational speaker event, it's because when I'm networking, they have opportunities there. Like I'm discovering brands or whatnot that really stand for good things, and you have like a purpose and you're actively in the community. Like you're not just talking just to talk kind of thing. Like I really want to find those rich events. Like We Day was definitely one of them. That was really rich, and I'm glad I that I've gone to that have done the same thing later in life, and I'm so grateful. I've learned a lot and taken those skills with me everywhere I go. Okay, what are your thoughts on long distance relationships? I think they're doable, but I'm so selective now with the thought of me being willing to work with that. It's just an instance that I have at least scrutinized, and it's not my first pick. But anything for love, and not anything for love, but just if you truly love that person and the communication is good, I feel like it is doable. And it also, distance isn't the end of the world. I also think timing is everything too. Like, I don't want to hold on to something that just feels good just because. That's really selfish. Like, it's okay to give space and let go and us grow at our own times, and maybe if it works out in the future, cool, great, but if not, like, it clearly wasn't for me or for that person either. So yeah. What do you think is the worst age to be and why? The worst age to be, that's really hard. Like, a really ungrateful mindset. Maybe like when you're first developing your language skills, it's probably the most frustrated that I've been or remember being in my life. Like, not having people not being able to understand you, even though you know what you want and such. There's a really bad accident. That's unfortunate. Aren't aware that you're going through that in middle school when your language is about to have a burst and that your world expands quite a bit, because you start thinking of different concepts and you start thinking about death more and your place in the world more. So like, I feel like I didn't know it yet. Ooh, they have cameras. I didn't know it yet, but I was very like, I couldn't find the words to explain what I was feeling and what I was doing, so that was frustrating. So kind of like the same thing. I feel like right before you have that growth burst and are exposed to more things, that can feel like suffocating almost and really like paralyzing. So maybe a middle school age, like when you're becoming a young teen, and also like that infant stage when you're becoming a toddler and babbling. Yeah. What are some things that you're scared of? Scared of being misunderstood. I feel like I internalize so much, and I read between the lines a lot, and I work in behavior and have had experiences where I'm just highly observant, so I am able to predict and process things and just conceptualize on my own, but I don't necessarily explain those things. And sometimes in my mind I feel like, well, what's the point? Like, give me that reason, like, who cares, kind of thing. But like, I care. I want people to know what I'm thinking, and I feel like I have valuable words to say, valuable conversations to be had about topics. Sometimes I just feel like that needs to be pulled out of me by other people, but I'm working on pulling that out in myself and not feeling guilty for having an opinion. I feel like that's probably slightly a traumatic response, but also like I feel like my brain just is thinking about so many random things. ADHD, I just open the new tab and like move straight forward, and I don't finish the thought. But in my mind, I finish the thought. If I could write everything in my mind on paper, like, I do my best thoughts writing on paper versus speaking. I feel like when I'm speaking, I'm thinking sometimes faster, and when I'm writing, they're the same speed, so everything gets out. Necessary to pull over to the side when they have a whole lane open, like typical, instead of getting hurt. But that's not a reason that stops me. I'm just aware of it. Oh, I'm scared of the people that I love dying. I don't know why I'm thinking about this first, but like, if they're in the car, like, the sense of responsibility that I have is huge. And I've told some people about this while they're in my car. Like, I'm very anal about seatbelts because I've read many statistics and been in many situations where they didn't or did, and I could just never live with myself in the same capacity, and know emotionally I would be just in a dark place if something happened, because I feel that sense of responsibility for their life. So yeah, I care deeply about the people I love, and I want them to believe in themselves and do all the things and see themselves as beautiful as others do, and not be so hard on themselves. So yeah, the people I love hurting or dying potentially, and because it's my fault. Okay, well, who have you been compared to? How do you feel about this comparison? Ooh, what a good question. We're gonna end on that one. Maybe we'll continue in a different Q&A because I'm running out of storage. But I've been compared to Zendaya, Alicia Cara, Vanessa Hudgens, just based on looks, which I don't see how I relate to any of them. Maybe Alicia Cara, but I don't know. I feel like everyone tries to find a celebrity look-alike because that is a very old school magazine thing to do. In retrospect, I don't really care. Been compared to my siblings, and I think that's not fair to us because we are so different and we had a different upbringing even though we were in the same household. That's not fair on so many levels. I've been compared, like being compared to people in my immediate life. I think it's like the ultimate slap in the face and mode of disrespect. Relationships compare me to other women, and that, yeah, it's just like the ultimate slap in the face and the ultimate disrespect. I feel like not much ticks me off, but if you see me, if I expose myself to you and you see some of my soul in my core and just you have a closer understanding and see those layers coming off, and then you choose to use like some of my worst moments or some of just my conceptualized thinking to compare that to somebody else, really objectifying. And I know in my heart it's projection and avoiding, but for me as an individual that wants to be loved for who they are and not for what I look like or like how the pride you feel in like me being able to justify your version of success and your version of the world around you and your perception of like what's right from wrong. Like, no, I'm just me. Take it or I leave it. Like, I'm down to grow as an individual, but for you to compare me to another person, like, each person is incomparable.